Well, hello there all, Kate back here and welcome to this channel. Today I'm going to take you through, roughly 10 beautiful cities in both Switzerland and Germany. And I'm going to tell you about a whole bunch of super interesting customs and the ways of celebration of Christmas in both Switzerland and Germany. So we're going to start with Switzerland. Switzerland, in terms of its customs and traditions, are both rich and wonderfully diverse when it comes to Christmas. The Christmas season itself starts in Switzerland on December 1st, which marks the first day of Advent. Advent is the period of 4 Sundays, hence 4 weeks before the Christmas. Advent means coming in Latin. This is coming of Jesus into the world. Christians use 4 Sundays or 4 weeks of Advent to prepare and remember the real meaning of Christmas. These 4 weeks are represented in Christian Advent candles. There are 4 candles and they are on the wreath, placed on the table. Each Sunday during the December, 1 candle is lit until all 4 of them are burning on the Christmas Eve. Traditionally, the wreaths are made from evergreen twigs, pine cones, and the like, and they're decorated with many interesting materials. The symbol of the greenery and evergreen pine twigs are actually symbolizing the eternity of God and immortality of the soul. The 4 candles represent hope, faith, joy, and peace. Another really cool tradition that is practiced in Switzerland is Advent windows. It is a tradition when 24 residents are selected to decorate one of their windows in a Christmas theme. Every evening between the December 1st and December 24th, one window is unveiled on a set time. There are many people gathering to see those windows. They're unveiled, they're usually very, very pretty, and the town folks and villagers gather around to watch these beautiful windows. Each of them represent one day on the Advent calendar. There are a lot of celebrations that happen between the 1st and the 24th of December. St. Nicholas Day is particularly interesting. It's celebrated on December 6th. St. Nicholas, so named after Nicholas of Myra, patron saint of children, comes to visit children of Switzerland. This is a Swiss version of Santa Claus. He's typically dressed in bishop's robes and carries a staff. He's accompanied by a donkey, which carries the sack filled with chocolates, peanuts, tangerines, and many other things. What is particularly interesting, and I believe unique to Switzerland, correct me if I'm wrong, is that his helper is Schmutzli, and Schmutzli is this darker version of Saint Nicholas, who's dressed in all darker black sort of clothes, and he carries a bunch of twigs. He's supposed to punish naughty children. Today, obviously, nobody punishes anyone, but Schmutzli is usually there to make sure that children are behaving themselves. So very interesting aspect right there. Typically, in order to receive some sort of a snack or a present from St. Nicholas, you have to tell a story, dance, or say a poem or something like that. So kids usually prepare a short performance for St. Nicholas to get a present. The main celebration usually takes place at home. Families gather together over a wonderful dinner, with the central piece being fondue. I don't think there are any celebrations that can be done in Switzerland without a fondue. That's like the key thing. Very tasty, with lots and lots of different snacks around fondue that usually dipped in this wonderful cheesy cheese sauce. Christmas markets is a huge deal. There are a lot of famous ones. The most famous ones are from Basel, Bern, Lucerne, Lugano, Montreux, and Zurich. Here I'm going to show you mostly the Zurich ones. The Zurich ones are truly wonderful. There are lots of them. I think there are 4 main ones that are fairly large, and the one that I liked the most was right next to the opera house that we saw in the video just a while ago. What is so important about, what is the big deal about Christmas markets? I think predominantly is that there's music and light and lots of authentic traditions there. You can drink Glühwein. You can eat all sorts of really cool baked goods and cakes and all sorts of hot barbecue sausages and the like. I think it's predominantly in the atmosphere itself. It's a lot of fun. People usually gather with their friends and families, spend time going from booth to booth, getting all sorts of interesting things to eat. You can buy a lot of cool stuff. Many of the things that are sold in Christmas markets are generally not sold during the year. It's sort of a cool, unique experience. Some of them are handmade, a lot of super expensive wooden toys and Christmas decorations and whatnot. So a lot of things to potentially buy and take back home. But the key thing, I think, the experience of the atmosphere itself. So we'd highly, highly recommend trying at least one of the earlier mentioned coolest Swiss Christmas markets. In many European countries, including Switzerland and Germany, it gets dark pretty early in the season of Christmas, so the Christmas lights and the evening lights are the highlight of every city. What's particularly interesting about Switzerland, I guess about many other countries, is that every city has a different way of lighting itself up. This particular example is shot in St. Gallen. St. Gallen has arguably the most beautiful lights. Every year they light the city with this wonderful, many dimensional stars, if I may say so. But they're truly stunning, and I haven't seen in any other city this particular type of lighting. In the Christmas season, every city puts on display its best self and decorates itself in the most wonderful ways. What's particularly interesting about Switzerland, I believe, is the way they decorate their many fountains. Every fountain is always decorated seasonally. During the Christmas, every fountain is decorated usually in this wonderful golden colors with evergreens or red and evergreen. So pay attention to the fountains. Usually most of them are decorated in a whole bunch of wonderful ways.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing.
Back to the Christmas markets. It's wonderful, but it is a fact that even though the country size of Switzerland is very small, it can host over 130 Christmas markets. Each major city usually hosts a whole bunch of them along busy streets and cobblestone lanes. It's usually very pretty. It lasts the entire month of December. And you can find, as I pointed out already, a whole bunch of exciting things, including traditional crafts, candle dipping for children to try, Christmas decor, and loads of glühwein, which makes sense in the weather to keep yourself warm. Not sure if you have noticed already, but we are in Germany. So in Germany, the big part of Christmas celebration is also Advent. And in particular, Advent calendars. There are different types of Advent calendars, and traditional ones made of cardboards or wooden boxes that have all sorts of doors or boxes that you can open up, and there will be present for every day of the Advent calendar, so 24 presents. Once I received the Advent calendar and I didn't know the point, I opened them all at once. Not the way it's supposed to be done. You open one at a time and have this kind of tiny present for every day of the exciting Christmas season. Christmas tree, obviously very important in Germany. Decorating Christmas trees goes all the way back to the late Middle Ages. If there are young children in the house, the tree is usually secretly decorated by the mother of the family. The Christmas tree traditionally brought into the house on Christmas Eve, and it is believed that some sort of angel or saint has decorated the tree, which is super exciting for the kids. And probably the most exciting aspect of every feast is the table. In Germany, there are a lot of wonderful dishes, and depending on where you are in Germany, it could vary from all sorts of fish to meat and all sorts of sauces and the like, all sorts of desserts, ice cream. Certainly worth an attention. German food is actually fantastic if you know where to eat. So the best feast would obviously take place on the Christmas Eve. That is the most celebrated day of the year. It is usually jam-packed with celebrations. For Germans, traditionally many households spend the whole day decorating the tree, preparing the food, and taking care of the house. As soon as the night comes, household draws around the tree. According to tradition, what's super interesting, Christkind or Christ child delivers the presents when the children are waiting outside of the room. The bell will ring for children to step inside of the room where the family will start to sing carols before opening of the gift ceremony. And of course, your Christmas visit would be incomplete without visiting the wonderful Christmas markets. This tradition has spread all around the world, and this tradition actually was first derived from Germany. And Germany has arguably the most wonderful Christmas markets in the world, with lots of Glühwein, hot dogs, and a whole bunch of other festive foods. And another of the wonderful German Christmas traditions is a Christmas angel. Step into literally any German house and you would see a Christmas angel. You will find abundance of them, in fact, and they will be all around the house, usually on the Christmas tree, but also could be on the tables or somewhere else hanging from the door. It is one of the most popular decorations in Germany. In many families, it is passed down through generations, and they oftentimes have also their own special meaning of hope, joy, love, and togetherness or peace. Another great fact of visiting Germany in winter would be a wonderful experience of visiting many of its castles in the winter scenery. My particular favorite is Neuschwanstein, and that's probably the favorite for many, the one that Disneyland took as an inspiration. In winter it looks particularly fairy tale-like, particularly magical. And if you're visiting Christmas markets and you're somewhere in Bavaria, Neuschwanstein would definitely be a place to go. While you're visiting these wonderful sites, don't forget that it is quite cold in winter, so bring with you either coffee in a thermos or Glühwein, because they don't serve it there, at least at the moment that I was visiting. And definitely don't forget to bring some Stollen. And Stollen is one of the most wonderful and tastiest, and maybe one of the most famous, the fruit bread, which made with nuts, spices, candied fruit and powdered sugar, enjoyed throughout the holiday season, very famous in the world, so definitely bring some with you to stay warm. Well, dear friends, that brings us to the end of this particular video and a journey. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do not forget to put the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you like such content. Thank you so much once again for joining, and see you soon.